Okay, so electric vehicles, right? Everyone's talking about them.
Yeah,
It feels like it's kind of the future,
absolutely.
but who's going to be building these cars?
Right.
Is it going to be all Tesla? You know, is there any room for anybody
Yeah.
else?
Is anyone going to take them down?
So we're looking at Lucid Motors today.
Okay.
And specifically, we're looking at an interview that Peter Rawlinson, the CEO of Lucid, did on the Wall Street Journal's Bold Names podcast.
Interesting.
And we've got some interesting articles that we found on Boosted and Electric as well that talk about some of the things that are going on at Lucid.
Okay, cool.
And, Lucid is really aiming to be the company that takes down Tesla.
The Challenger.
Yeah, the David and Goliath, right. But how are they actually going to do that? What's their strategy?
Right.
And do they actually have what it takes? I mean, can they pull this off?
Yeah, they've got big plans.
Yeah. So Rawlinson in this interview is incredibly confident,
Oh, is he?
almost to a fault, I would say. He really, truly believes that they are building a superior vehicle to Tesla.
Wow.
And that the Air sedan, which is their current car that they have on the market,
Right.
and the Gravity SUV, which is going to be coming out sometime soon,
Okay.
those are just the beginning.
Oh, so there's even more coming.
Yeah, well, the goal is to eventually make more affordable vehicles that will appeal to the masses and kind of go head-to-head with, like, the Model 3 and the Model Y.
So they're starting at the high end and then moving down.
Exactly.
Okay, interesting strategy.
Yeah, it's kind of the opposite of what Tesla did.
Yeah, because they started with the Roadster,
Right.
which was a very niche, expensive car.
Yeah, so it's interesting. So Lucid has had some early successes,
Okay.
and they've actually sold quite a few vehicles.
How many?
They sold almost 2,000 vehicles last quarter,
Wow.
which is a 33% jump from the previous quarter.
That's huge.
And what's really interesting is that they're actually outselling Tesla Model S.
Really?
Yeah, in the U.S.
Yeah.
during that same period. So Tesla sold fewer than 1,700 Model S in the U.S. last quarter. But Lucid sold almost 2,000 of the Air.
Oh, okay.
So, they're already beating Tesla in that luxury segment.
Interesting. So they're succeeding with that top-down approach.
Exactly.
Right.
And they're also beating companies like Porsche with the Taycan
Yeah.
and Mercedes with the EQS.
Okay, so they're coming out strong.
Yeah, I mean, so far so good, right?
But
there is a problem.
okay, what's that?
They're currently losing money on every single car that they sell.
Oof, that's not sustainable.
Yeah, and they're having to burn through a lot of cash
Yeah.
in order to scale their production and maintain their quality standards.
Right. Well, that's always tough, right? Scaling up while maintaining quality.
It's the classic dilemma.
It is.
And it's especially hard in auto manufacturing because it's so capital intensive.
Totally. Yeah, it's a tough industry.
And it's interesting because they're also trying to push for affordability.
Okay, so they're losing money on every car and they want to make them cheaper.
Well, they want to reach a wider market.
Okay.
I mean,
good.
they're not trying to compete with the cheapest EVs out there.
Right.
They still want to maintain that kind of premium branding,
Okay.
but they want to get it down to a price where it's not just for the luxury buyer.
That makes sense. I
Yeah.
mean, if they want to truly compete with Tesla, they can't just stay in that luxury segment.
Exactly.
But is that a risky move? Could it dilute the brand?
Some analysts say that it is.
I mean, I guess it depends how they do it, right?
Yeah.
They have to find a way to appeal to the mass market,
Yeah.
but without, compromising on what makes them special.
Yeah. And the mass market is so cutthroat.
Oh,
The
totally.
competition is fierce.
Uh-huh.
And the price pressure is intense.
Absolutely.
So they're really going to have to figure out some serious innovation when it comes to their manufacturing process,
Yeah.
their supply chain, and their engineering in order to get those costs down.
They need to get really efficient. Like
Yeah.
Tesla it's
Right.
taken them a long time to get to this point
Exactly.
where they can actually make money on their cars.
Yeah. And I mean, speaking of innovation, Rawlinson is really skeptical of autonomous driving.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting because it seems like every other car company is like all in on self-driving.
Yeah. He basically thinks that the industry is getting ahead of itself
Uh-huh.
and that the technology just isn't there yet.
So he's kind of betting against the trend.
He is.
Is he a visionary or is he just being stubborn?
Right. I mean, is he seeing something that other people aren't seeing?
Yeah.
Or is this going to be a big mistake?
I guess time will tell.
Yeah, it's a big gamble for sure.
What's he saying about it?
Well, he's basically saying that he thinks consumers are going to prioritize the driving experience
Okay.
over the convenience of automation.
Interesting. So he thinks people actually want to drive.
Yeah, and I mean, he might be right.
He might be.
but it definitely goes against what a lot of people think is going to happen in the industry.
Yeah, it's a bold stance for sure.
Yeah, so we've got this company with these huge ambitions.
Yeah.
They've got some early wins in the luxury market. They're facing these financial hurdles.
Oh, right.
And they're taking this very contrarian approach to technology.
So what does it all mean?
Well, the question that you really have to ask is, can they navigate this really complex landscape and achieve the goals that they set for themselves?
I mean, they're taking on Tesla, which is a giant.
A behemoth.
And the EV market is getting more crowded every day.
Yeah. I mean, every legacy automaker is coming out with electric vehicles.
It's going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out.
Yeah. So here's something to think about as you continue your own deep dive into this topic.
Okay.
What if Lucid figures out how to crack the code on these affordable EVs?
Yeah.
And they do it without compromising quality.
Right.
How would that impact the entire auto industry? How would it impact you as a consumer?
Yeah. Would it change the way we think about buying cars?
Exactly. I mean, this is a story that is far from over.
Yeah, we're just at the beginning.
And the next chapter is going to be really interesting.
Absolutely. Can't wait to see what happens.
Me too.
All right. Well, thanks for taking us on this deep dive.
Of course. Thanks for joining me.
Anytime.